Christopher Lloyd joins us, as he does often, and we appreciate his time and his perspective. So, a lot out there that's new?
Yeah, kind of maybe a little bit slower week this week, but we were supposed to be getting some new movies in theaters this week. That's been pushed back to August, hopefully, and not any further, but we'll see. So, yeah, a few things still cool out there that are cool.
I think that is probably the one thing I hear people pining more for than going to see live music is to go to, they're like, give me that overpriced popcorn. I want to sit in a theater.
I do too. And the thing is, we have to understand, aside from that, like that first weekend or two that a big movie comes out, movie theaters are generally pretty sparsely populated. I mean, if you're going there like a Thursday night showing, there might only be like 8 or 10 other people in the theater. So I think it's very doable just as long as everyone is smart and careful.
Excellent. Okay, so since we're still watching stuff at home, what's out there? What's new on digital demand?
New one that's out is interesting. It's called She Dies Tomorrow. As the title implies, it's about a young woman who just becomes convinced that she is going to die the next day. Amy Simons wrote and directed this film. And here's the interesting thing. So she's sharing this concern with other people, and the people that she talks to about it also become convinced that they also are going to die tomorrow. And so it's this very kind of a strange story as sort of this disease of the mind spreads from person to person. It's almost sort of like that horror movie It Follows from a few years ago, where the boogaboo just follows whoever has it at the moment. So it's actually some comedic elements in there. So sort of a thriller, drama, horror, comedy, I guess. But I don't know. Definitely
straddling about 5 genres.
Yes, exactly. I like movies like that don't really just upfront tell you what they are.
Sure, exactly. What else?
Rebuilding Paradise. This is a documentary from Ron Howard, of course, very well-known director. Hasn't done a lot of documentaries, but so this is something that he did in partnership with National Geographic about Paradise, which is a small town in California that was basically just destroyed by the wildfires of a couple of summers ago. You probably remember seeing that all the news of different towns that were affected. We heard a lot about Los Angeles and Hollywood and all that, but this small town really got hit. And it's just a very intimate look at these people and sort of their struggle and trying to rebuild and going from despair and tragedy to hope. So it looks very interesting.
Do you find that to be a curious project for someone like Ron Howard?
Yeah, I'd be curious why he got involved in it. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing he lives in California and heard about those types of things and just, looking for something new to focus on. So good for him.
Yeah. What else?
We've got Summerland. This is a drama starring Gemma Arterton, and she plays, it's set during World War II. She plays a young woman who's kind of the town outcast. People don't really, associate with her very well. She's just kind of lonely and stuck in that mode of I'm an alone person, that's fine. And then after the London Blitz, they have all these refugee children that need homes, and so basically more or less forced to take this boy in. And of course ends up finding that her heart starts to open up to him, and she starts building relationships with the boy, and that leads to relationships with other people in her community that she didn't think were possible.
Okay. What's streaming?
So we've got a comedy special with Jim Gaffigan, of course, Hoosier raised Jim Gaffigan. It's called The Pale Tourist. And it's about international comedy tour that he did and sort of taking snippets. It's actually just 2 episodes, one from Canada and one from Spain. And he sort of, does his shtick and translates it there to foreign audiences. I got a chance to watch both those, and of course, if you like Jim Gaffigan, who doesn't like Jim Gaffigan? One of those rare comics, the clean comics, as they say, family friendly. I actually watched some with my son last night, and he enjoyed it. So go check out Jim Gaffigan. That's on Amazon Prime, by the way.
His personal life exhausts me. He works with his spouse. They have 5 children?
5 children that live in New York City.
They RV everywhere together. Like, none of that sounds remotely appealing to me. That sounds terrible. But
he makes it work. He doing all right.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. You got anything new on disc?
I just want to mention the DVD Blu-ray train has kind of been a little slow lately, just because we're into that period of films that were going to be coming out in March and April would be coming out on video now. But we do have a one that I previously reviewed on the show when it came out on VOD. Is End of Sentence. This is a cool drama starring John Hawkes, just a great character actor. And the setup is that he's sort of cut off from his son, played by Logan Lerman, who's just getting out of prison. His wife has recently died, so they go on this trip to Ireland, to her birthplace, to scatter her ashes and try and reconnect. Just a very nice, sensitive, well-acted story. So go check out on Blu-ray or DVD, End of Sentence.
Awesome. So real quick, your opinion on this. Do you think drive-ins, this sort of resurgence, do you think it's going to stick? Do you think people are liking the nostalgic experience of it, or this is going to be limited to how we're handling this situation?
I hope it does. It certainly doesn't look like we're going to see a ton of big movie releases for the foreseeable, maybe at least for the rest of this year. We're still waiting to see about Wonder Woman 1984, if that's going to be moved. So I love the idea. I hope people, we have this resurgence of the drive-ins keeps going, because it really is a great way to watch movies. Right now, it's kind of tough for us to go because, the movies don't start till about 9:45 when the sun goes down. Which, if you've got little kids, that's already past their bedtime. I really hope it does. We just did the Indy Shorts Festival with Heartland that played at the Tibbs Drive-In. So I can't predict for certain, but I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for it too. Christopher Lloyd, appreciate that. We'll put the links on IndyStyle.tv. Stay safe. I know you will.
Thanks. You too.